Hello, all you beautiful people. So I actually recorded this once before, but there's just a lot to take in with this balance patch. So I looked over it once. I missed quite a few things, so I want to redo it again. So we have a balance patch here, and we also have the change to story mode. So we'll go over both of them. Yeah. So I mean, my initial reactions weren't even that good, so I don't think you guys were missing much. So yeah, big things here. Awakening time stop is readjusted so everyone has the same. PvP escape skills are different, and this is kind of one of the first big ones. Okay, so your physical magical attack buffs can only stack up to 200%. I think a lot of people are making assumptions right now of just like the question is what is included in this 200%. Like, are fighter potions included? Is like self buffs included? Obviously, like party buffs are included, like Aisha buff and things like that, although we'll get to that one in a second here. But I think with this one, we'll have to see which buffs are affected by this 200% cap. Is it just buffs on your bar or whatever like that, etc., etc. Yeah, I know this is weird. I'm not sure what this is for. It's kind of weird in my opinion, but yeah, we'll see. It definitely screws over a lot of characters that do their own self-buffing. If self-buffing is included, I'm not sure if self-buffing is included. Again, we'll have to see. Yeah, escape skills will all change. So this is kind of the big thing, right? This is the big thing everybody's complaining about, everybody's talking about, is they changed Aisha's magic attack buffs and all the healers healing so that it is increased by combat power. So right here it says magic attack buff for Aisha's seal is, before it was 30% and for 30 seconds. Now it's only 3% and it gets increased by 3% per 500 combat power. I think some people actually figured out the numbers already, which is crazy because this patch just dropped, but I'm pretty sure on LWiki, some people have already figured out the numbers here. Yeah, here we go. So, and we can easily see where the problem is. So to get back your old 30%, you need to be 4.5 million. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not 4.5. So this is very understandably very strange, and I flash Get Greedy here because I think what they did with Get Greedy they need to do here, where the initial number is big. The initial number should have been 30. That's how they fix this, in my opinion. Is this, if this initial number is 30 and then it gets increased by, let's say, 1% per whatever combat power to a max of 40, I think that would be fine and a lot of people would not be complaining. And I don't understand how they messed it up, because look, they did it right with Get Greedy. With Get Greedy, it's not 1% and then it gets increased by 1% per combat power. It's 20% initially, which is the biggest number, and then it gets increased by these percentages as it goes. They should have done that here, where the initial should have been 30, and then it's increased a little bit by your combat power. I don't, like, maybe they could make it 25, maybe they can make it 20, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense, because a lot of people make these buffing characters to be taken in raid parties. Like raid alts. You make raid alts, but now this is just like, well, your raid alt isn't doing much anymore depending on what raid alt you make. You know, if you make a Celestia, you're still good, but if you made an Aisha, or again, I'm gonna scroll down to the healers real quick. Also, Raven got something, we'll talk about that in a second. But it's good, so it's not as intense. Or like, let's say you make a Radiant Soul or a Nyx or a Blue Hen, and it's just like, well, they went from healing 6% to only healing 1%. And it's just like, it's the same problem. It's the same thing. Radiant Soul has that too. The numbers look weirder just because Google Translate. That's why I'm using Blue Hen as the example. Apparently Blue Hen doesn't heal much these days. But yeah, I think if this initial number, if they kept the initial number the same, so it was 6% before, and I think it should have been 6% initially, and then it gets increased by a little bit up to this new maximum, that would be 100% fine. Nyx is like that too. Really quick, let me go down to the Fail Pilgrim, as he's called in this translation. Yeah, it goes from 5% recovery to 0.4 up to 6%. If this was 5% and then it gets increased by point whatever up to 6%, again, I don't think there's any problem with that. Same thing with the Radiant Soul too, but it's displayed kind of weird, so I can't, I guess, really show it. Like, oh yeah, 15 recovery 3 times by percent. Like, I don't know what the percent is. But yeah, so yeah, I think A lot of people are complaining about this, and notably so, understandably so, because it doesn't make sense and it's really weird. The other Aishas are just like this too, but I was just showing the magical tech buff because it just looked very nice. Yeah, again, I'm gonna say this one more time. They should change, and they have time too, by the way, real quick. This is not out in KR. This is an advance notice, so they have time to change it. They have time to change it before it goes into KR, and they have time to change it before it comes into NA. But I don't know if Koreans like, do Korean players like this? Like, I don't know, do they? I'm not sure. Like, I maybe one day we'll go into the forums and check if people are just like, yeah, I love this change, because I don't like it. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all of this, like, 3% raw, and then it gets increased by 3% per 500. Again, you need to be 4.5 to get your old number back. That doesn't, like, no. Guys, no. Like, just no. Like, what are you doing? Listen. Make the initial number the old number, and then increase it to this new cap. That's all you need to do. No one's gonna complain about that. They'll be completely fine with that. And yeah, that's just it. That's just what they need to do, and I really hope they do it. And again, they have time. This patch isn't out yet in KR, and it's definitely not out in yet. It won't be out in NA for like 4 weeks. So they plenty of time to change it, and I really hope they do change it. Aside from this, Nova did get changed. Really good change, by the way. So they took away the super armor from Ignition Crow, and now enemies inside the flame take 15% more damage. It's like a debuff, I guess. So first of all, it's not affected by this new attack stat cap, so that's actually really good. And secondly, you don't need to worry about Napalm's really bad hitbox, because now you don't need to stand inside it yourself. The enemy needs to be inside it, which is completely very, very easy to do. So yeah, really good Nova buff all around. At least Nova got something. I could be happy about that. Like, Nova got probably one of the best buffs here. CC also got one of the best buffs too. Rapid Guardian is no longer stopped by Requiem and Windhose, so that's cool. Sharpshooter is no longer a party buff, so FP lost his supporting capabilities. And one of the craziest things is unmodded Tactical Field is no longer a party buff. It is a self buff. So if you want to give super armor to the party as Centurion, you have to use unmodded Tactical Field. I think, you know, to be honest, like, Chung has been meta ever since he came out, you know what I mean? So I think Chung getting nerfed honestly is fine, because the reason why they did this, for people to know, is that they wanted to intended to directly increase party participation of other characters with the same effect in the same position. So pretty much they wanted to help out other characters who have super armor, who are not getting taken, like KE and PO. I think they have super armor. Nova doesn't have super armor anymore. He lost his super armor. But yeah, I think that's the intention for this. But yeah, you can still give super armor to your party. You just need to use the modded version, so you can't just put out a field and then do other stuff. I think it's fair, just because this used to be the unequivocal best super armor, but now it's like you actually need to work for your super armor, or it's just not as good as some other people, like the Catastrophe too, because Oriax, you can just like put that on and it has infinite range. So it's just promoting those characters. So yeah, this is just a straight up nerf so that Chung isn't used more often. Alright, this is a weird one. So they changed Blood Falls to recover ally HP to reduce damage. But unless this Google translation is wrong, it says by you. Like, by you. Like, as in not allies. So what's the point? Is my question. Because Mod Blood Falls has 85% defense ignore. So if this is only for yourself, not for your party, that means you can't support with it. And if you can't support with it, you might as well use the best damage, which is the 85% ignore mod version. So what the heck? This is just confusing to me. I don't understand. But yeah. It's no longer a party buff, and it doesn't heal anymore. It does reduce damage, which is good. Like 15% reduced damage is good, but again, it's only for yourself, and you're giving up a 85% defense ignore skill. Like, it does not make sense. Yeah, okay. Moving on. They also nerfed a couple things, like Silent Shadows Liberator's damage. They changed some of Celestia's commands. Desmos has time stop removed. Horror area is only 2 hits instead of 3 hits, so nerf there. We already talked about Nyx, and I think Dank Web also got its time stop removed. Yeah, Dank Web got its time stop removed, so it's less annoying in PvP. Yeah, that's the character balance parts. Again, a lot of people are understandably very ticked off right now because of this, right? Because of this initial 3%, and it gets increased by 500k CP. Again, just make the initial number the same as it was before. Just make it the same as it was before. And then it gets increased a little bit by combat power, and then everybody's happy. And I think that's what they should do. Just do it. Okay, real quick, let's go over the story updates. They removed a lot of dungeons. Unfortunately, Altera Plains is being removed. Rip Altera Plains music. I'm gonna miss it. I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs in the game, and it's very sad that it's gonna be removed from the game. So yeah, the rest of the dungeons are whatever. I don't think anybody cared about the rest of these dungeons. And then these are the new dungeons that you have to run through, and they adjusted the story quests as well. So a lot of areas, a lot of areas are a lot smaller than before. Yeah, and some enemies are different as well. And they added a story of Elsword before joining the Elsword party, so I guess that's kind of cute. They changed guides. Character growth section. These things are bank shareable now. All the arena stuff are bank shareable. That's pretty nice. And then the difficulty of the difficulty of the dungeon, some adjustments to help you with smooth character development. You'll be able to store accessories in the Elry node area and the public bank. Some title requirements that are difficult to achieve have been relaxed. Okay. So they made certain titles easier to get, so that's cool. Shadow's Descent. That's interesting. Okay. And then they nerfed Black and White. They did do that suggestion. So with Black and White now, you can die twice when trying to do these 150 runs. So that's pretty nice, unless, like, if you get hit by a head bomb or you get hit by an accidental skill ban. You can die twice, and it's still fine. You can still get a count. Mana elixirs dropped in price, which is nice. Drop rate of Operation Aurora tickets has been increased, which is nice. Yeah, so, you know, this half of the buff, it's all, like, nice stuff, except for Rip Altera Plains. Rest in peace, Altera Plains. But yeah. This is gonna cause some, debate and talk and complaints, and again, understandably so. I'm complaining too. I don't play healers and buffers, but I can very much understand the complaints people have, and I think the solution is simple. The solution is so simple. Just make the initial number the old number and just increase it a little bit by your combat power to this new maximum. Simple, easy, clean. That's all they need to do. They got plenty of time to do it. I think it's really smart for them to do this. If they don't do this, what the heck? Why? Do Korean players actually like this? Like, if they do, why? Why would you like this? I don't understand. But I really hope to make this change where they keep the initial amount and then you stack up to the maximum. I just think that would just be smarter and it'd be better. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Have yourselves a fantastic day. I know a lot of people will be talking a lot about this patch. So yeah, have fun in the comments. You keep it civil and have yourselves a fantastic day. Peace out.